Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. Today I'm doing an album opening video. Unpackaging, they call it. My birthday was last January, and my sister, and we do it for each other, we take each other out for their birthday to a dinner and give them a exchange of presents. And it's nice because it's just my sister and I, because whenever I see her during the holidays and all that, the house is packed with other guests and family members. So doing a birthday together, just her and I, gives us a chance to just chat one-on-one, the original siblings. So we started that tradition about 5 years ago, and it's very nice. Now, I want to get to the unpackaging, but first I will say this. My family members have made it a norm to get me new vinyl records for my birthday or Christmas, or give me gift cards to record stores, Barnes and Noble, or some independent ones, and I can buy whatever I want, or they give me an album outright, which my sister did this last Christmas. Okay, this is in the plastic, so you got a lot of glare. The Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack, which I haven't got yet. Budget-wise, I'm very limited on what I can buy on new vinyl, because it's very pricey. It can be very pricey. So I was very happy to get this, and the soundtrack, and I really enjoyed it. Of course, I saw the movie, and this gives you another perspective of Queen's music. Their best known songs are in here, but also some of the more lesser known ones too, which is great. And how it's been edited and to coincide with the movie. It's on 2 discs, 180 grams, and nice packaging with these gatefold, and then these inner sleeves here. Nice heavy duty vinyl, so I'm going to put this back and go on to what I got yesterday. And what I got yesterday, the next one, coincides with Bohemian Rhapsody, because last summer another music bio movie came out, and it was Rocket Man. And I am a huge Elton fan. He's kind of my anchor artist. Been a fan since, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player in Yellow Brick Road. That was my jumping on point. And that time I was just a teenager, really getting interested in music and records and what was going on, and had some money to buy some records, and had a 45 called Crocodile Rock, and I turned it over to the B-side, and Elderberry Wine. I said, well, what else can this cat do? And I probably heard some of the other songs, and keep in mind I was like only 12, 13, just becoming aware of music, what everything was. And Elderberry Wine kind of blew me away, So I said, I got to listen to more of his music, seek it out, which I did. I got Goodbye Yellow Brick Road for Christmas of 1973. That was my deep dive into Elton's music. It was very special to get that album on Christmas 73, because we had the winter break from school, like 2 weeks. So you had time on your hands, and I just spent all my time absorbing that album. I wish I could go back in time to that Christmas and just relive that. So Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was my 1970s anchor album. I know people have their anchor albums, favorites for that time. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Rumors, Hotel California. The big successful albums that were very popular and people have their favorites. Yeah, the list goes on. Yeah, I think the 70s was a great time for popular music, rock music. Some people would say the 60s, and I agree, that was tremendous, but 70s came along, popular music, rock music really became refined, and it became big business. It became, mainstream instead of underground. And of course, that was happening in the 60s too. Anyway, I got my little opener here, which I'm going to open put a slit in to open the album. But anyway, Rocket Man, I did see the movie. It was fantastic. I thought it was very unusual the way it was done in incorporating musical elements and a little fantasy. I mean, when Elton played Dodger Stadium, he didn't burst out of lift up in the sky in a rocket and then ended up on a plane with Bernie in a pissy mood. Most likely he was driven to the airport. And the arrangements of songs is not the way they came out. They incorporated the song arrangements to the storyline in the movie. So Elton does not play Crocodile Rock at his debut Troubadour performance in Los Angeles, 1970. Yeah, that would come 3 years later. But it was just interesting how they took the songs and put it with the certain scenes, and which resulted in not in the order the songs being released. My glasses, I'm panicking. I don't want to. What did I do with them? Because I'm blind as a bat, my reading glasses. Okay, music from the motion picture. Your favorites, Elton John songs performed by the cast of Rocket Man. And that's another thing. Plus a brand new exclusive Elton John Taron. I can't see the actor who played Elton. I'm going to run and get a pair of glasses real quick. I'm sorry about that. You can see my laundry pile up back there. Okay, I'm coming back. My cheap dollar store reading glasses. Okay. Music from the motion picture, your favorite Elton John song performed by the cast of Rocket Man. Plus a brand new exclusive Elton John and Taron Egerton, if I pronounce his name right. If I haven't, I'm sorry. Egerton track. So there's a new song that Elton composed for this soundtrack, which won the Grammy for Best Original Song in the Movie and another prestigious movie award. And those was the first time that Elton and Bernie actually won an award together. Elton has won many on his own. But when he wins for Best Vocalist on something, Bernie doesn't get credit. So it was happy to see them both share the spotlight. Okay, so I got Rocket Man soundtrack. That was very nice of my sister to get this for me. And the actor who played Elton, Tehran, I'll just call him Tehran. That was a interesting decision to not have Elton sings the song, not to use the original recordings. Tehran is a very good vocalist, actually, and I thought he carried the songs very well in the soundtrack. And even gone as far to say, man, I hope he cuts an album of his own, kind of get into the music side of it. And, maybe Elton will help him, produce or maybe write a few songs or something. He, like I said, he carried the songs very, very well. His voice does not quite have the Elton touch, and it shouldn't. Everybody should be their own. But Elton's very unique in his vocal delivery. And so, the cast members sung the songs. And the album was produced by Giles Martin, son of producer George Martin. And we all know who George Martin is. And Giles been, in recent years, been involved with remastering or whatever, reissue anniversaries of Beatle albums. Most Sgt. Pepper's White Album, and most recently Abbey Road, and he's been getting really good reviews for that. When I saw the movies, there's some instrumental interludes of Elton's songs, which I really like. One of them, of course, Rocket Man. And Elton's music is very melodic, and those little sound clips of his songs being done in an instrumental way, I wouldn't mind having a whole album of that, actually. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. Let's do an opening here. And I'm a completist. When I take the wrap off, which I'm doing now, so I'll split here, here. I'll slide it off. Okay. The shrink wrap it came in, it has a little sticker here. I'm a completist. What I would do, I will fold this over like that very nicely here. And I will put this into a tin can, which I have a lot of the shrink wraps with stickers for my other albums. I used to stick it in the pocket, but sometimes it would come out, or I thought it'd just combine all of these into one area, the tin can that I have. So this will be saved, and also the receipts. So we have the shrink wrap off. And this is beautiful. I think I'm going to put this album frame, put it in the album room, the vinyl room. We open it up. And oh, nice shot of right there. And I'm trying to think at what point in the movie he might be recording your song, and we have a little write up inside the gatefold of Elton John when we first set out on this journey. I'm not going to be a spoiler, but that's how it starts off, and then one by a shorter one by Taron. For my part, the musical performance element, so that's nice. And they're right there. And we pull it out. Oh, this is the picture in the movie, the scene in the movie where Elton is writing your song. This is very cool. Very, very, very cool. In his mom's apartment, and literally Bernie finishes the lyrics, hands them to Elton, and he goes in the restroom to shave. Elton goes to the piano and starts composing the song, figuring it out. And that's the picture of his grandmother there, who was very supportive of Elton. And Bernie, I guess this is the point where Elton has the song going, and it catches Bernie's ear, and he comes out right there. Maybe I'm giving too much away if you haven't seen the movie yet. So I'm going to kind of stop there, except to say they look at each other and know they got something very, very, very special. And I would say your song is probably Elton's, I can't get no satisfaction as you can associate an artist with one song. One song comes first to mind, okay? The Stones, Satisfaction, and then Brown Sugar, and Honky Tonk Woman, and so on. Elton on the plane, after he is shot up in the sky by a rocket, instead of being driven to the airport. So this is nice inner sleeve. When I slide the album out, I try to do it in such a way, this one's a little harder, that I can kind of expand the walls, the inner walls, that it doesn't touch the record. And the record can remain pure. So we'll put it back. We'll put this one back. And we'll take the other one out. There we go. Elton banging away at the piano. That's the Dodger Stadium thing. I guess it was funny because the defining public performances in the Queen movie was Live Aid. With this movie, it was the Dodger Stadium performance, because that's when Elton was at the height of his popularity. Okay. So this is nicely packaged. And I'm not going to take the album out, and I just want to take a peek in there to see if the label's a little different. No, about the same. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. I may do it tonight. How far are we along? It's 16 minutes. And I want to open one more, and I really don't want to do a separate video. So this was going to run about 25 minutes, because I don't want to shortchange this album. You jazz people out there. And this is my first jazz album on new vinyl. I got tons of jazz music on old records I got at the thrift store. Okay? In my years of thrift store shopping, I was able to accumulate a really nice jazz collection. Now, these are secondhand, previously owned, and they do have their Their clicks and pops are, you know, crackling noise. A lot of them are actually pretty good, sound good, but there are, you know, here and there surface noise. But, you know, hey, you buy a used car, you know, you might have problems with it sooner than buying a new car. And one day I'll do a video on my thrift store jazz collection. Okay? I got quite many, and all, you know, from Dixieland to fusion to freeform jazz. You know, I got it all. Vocal jazz. But this is if you go to, this album here is John Coltrane. Came out in 2018. It's called, there we are. John Coltrane, Both Directions at Once, The Lost Album. And on the Impulse sticker here, I'll read that. Newly discovered studio recording. Deluxe versions include every take from the session. So basically, John Coltrane recorded this album with some other musicians, noted, really well-known musicians, and once I open, I'll read that list. And took the tapes and put them away until they weren't until they were discovered by his family more recently, and so they put it together in an album form. It came out in 2018, and my sister got it for me the other day. So let's give it an open. And this looks like it's nicely packaged. You got the titles on the back, and this this is a cutout here, so you can rub your right here. Same thing in the back. So we're actually seeing a little bit of the inside. And I'm going to take this off, cut a slit in there. There we go. And by the way, all my new vinyl, I put them in protective sleeves. I treat them, I baby them, really take good care of them. And when they're in the shelf, I give them some room. I don't have them pressed in tight with each other. I give each album a little bit of wiggle room there as to keep it in great condition. And also, I will take the albums actually out and put them in the back part of the sleeve behind the album cover, as to avoid ring wear on the album cover. My thinking is once I'm gone from this world, if my wife is still here and she can sell them at a reasonable price, you know, we're not going to gouge. So if I paid $25 for one, she could sell it for $18. Give somebody a good deal, and they're still getting a album that's been babied. So let's open up the gatefold. Oh, this is nice. We got a little booklet here. We'll look at that in a minute. Gatefold. And this is interesting. I was watching the video yesterday, YouTube of the songs on this album, and this is like a little chart, you know, musical notation charts of the steps of the music, and as each one was playing, they would vibrate to the area where they were at on the chart. You know, you go look at that on YouTube. It's pretty wild. So, you know, C, D, E, F sharp, A flat, B flat, C. You know, that's what it is mapping. there. And I guess this is geometric kind of art, that are shapes and angles. And, ooh, this is nice. Look at that. Great, great photos, black and white, of John Coltrane. This is really nicely done. There's John at work, and another. These would be good. You take the albums out and house them in another sleeve, and take these photos, and they could be put in album frames for a music room. That's a great idea. Wonderful, wonderful pictures. John Coltrane is gone. We lost him in 1967, but it's nice to have his music and his photo shots. And like I said, this is a cutout right here. And lastly, let's look on the book. Whoa, no, this is more of like a poster here. A shot of, I guess, the sessions. And what would be considered kind of like liner notes and some more pictures. So I'm looking forward to, this is nice because you can listen to this album and read this information. That's how, 27 minutes, that's how music should be listened to. That you have a physical aspect of it, an actual product you hold in your hands, that it's just not. I'm not criticizing streaming. I stream myself, but I stream to scout out new music I may want to buy, sort of like the old days of radio. And if that's all you do is stream, and if your interest in music is limited, streaming is for you, but may be perfect for you. But for us deep music listeners, we actually need the product. So it's great to have something you hold in your hands. You can read about where the music was recorded, who was all involved, in sound engineers, and who played what, who wrote what, where was it recorded, where was it mastered, all that that information, instead of just having something on a device. I've always consider the product is part of the music itself, and the cover, the artwork, and everything. I'll just conclude. I looked up that John Coltrane album here on all music review. Both directions at once. And I have to figure out what that title means, So, on All Music, they gave it a 4-star review, but they didn't write too much on it. But in the customer review, a reviewer named Karen Andrews, and I recommend you go and look her up. She gave a review of a lot of information about this album that was very helpful. So this video ran quite long, 30 minutes. I tried to keep these short, but because people's time are so short. But either way, it ran over. I had a lot to say, and I'm glad I did it. So please leave a comment I love comments. I mean, I don't get a lot of comments, just a few here and there. But it's nice to have feedback. You know, if you don't have to write a book, just something really short. I mean, thumbs up are nice, but comments are really special. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to do another video on my guitar playing and some thoughts on that as well. I hope to get those two up there very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.